Keller is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Ranking Member Comer. This committee had a joint roundtable last February, and the subject came up, and my position on this is the same, and that is there is no excuse for abusive behavior or harassment in any work environment. In any instances of such behavior, they should be fully investigated and violators held accountable. But as I also pointed out in February, this committee has been tasked with investigating waste, fraud, and abuse of taxpayer dollars and ensuring government agencies are operating properly. The fact that we are not discussing historically high inflation, prompting the highest Fed rate hike since 1994, a nationwide gas average topping $5 a gallon, or the fentanyl crisis exacerbated by disastrous open border policies is unacceptable. Instead, we are now conducting congressional oversight over a private organization already undergoing an investigation. Madam Chair, this committee must refocus efforts on the most pressing issues affecting the American people, not duplicative ongoing efforts to investigate misconduct. My question, Mr. Goodell, what steps has the NFL taken to promote safe working environment for its employees?
We've made a number of steps going back several years. One, and I mentioned some of this, but annual training that's required across all personnel, from clubs to league officials, employees, including players, owners, commissioners. We've had sexual harassment training also. We continue to do that on an annual basis, which is also required. So we continue to put this front and center. I've had several conversations with our clubs about the importance of maintaining professional workplaces, that it's their responsibility. So I think the steps that have been made clearly have had an impact. But again, we're not perfect, but we want to make sure that our employees feel safe and they have a place where if they have, and I should have mentioned one other thing, is mandatory hotlines. We at the League have had a mandatory hotline for people to confidentially raise any issues that they think are important. And we also have required that of all our 32 clubs. So I think steps to make it easier for people to report if there are violations or alleged violations, and most importantly for us to follow up responsibly, have been welcome and needed, and are the important steps that need to be taken to keep a workplace safe and productive.
Okay. The commanders are required to submit semi-annual reporting assessments to the NFL through July 31st of 2023. What sort of metrics does the team report, and do these metrics provide an accurate picture of the commander's workplace culture?
They actually don't give it to us. It's put in a report. It's actually gathered by an independent firm, Vestry Light. They go in, they meet with employees, they meet with the executives as well as HR and anybody they wish. They have full access. The report that we saw in February that was shared with all of you indicated a substantial transformation in the organization. Many of those that were in the organization said that it's a major change and a positive change, and something where they feel that they're in an organization that they're proud of, and they think that the policies that have been implemented by the commanders and the executives all the way up to the ownership are productive and helpful.
So they're doing everything that's been put in place by the NFL to create a culture that would be an acceptable workplace environment. They're
Yes,
meeting.
I think
They're meeting.
They're clearly.
They're meeting.
They clearly have.
Their goals.
I'm sorry.
They're meeting their goals, I guess, is my question, and the things that they've been asked to do.
I think this work is something that is, you never achieve the goal line. I think you have to continue to work on this. But I think the steps that have been taken, the recommendations made by Beth Wilkinson that were implemented by the commanders, the executives and the ownership have taken this seriously and made significant changes to their organization. There will be more work to do. We all have more work to do.
Yeah, but I guess the point is, everything they've been
steps.
asked to comply with, they've been complying with, as they should, okay? But they've been doing
That is
that.
correct. That is correct.
That's correct. The
That is
commanders
absolute-
have been fined
that-
$10 million following an initial investigation into the matter last year, among other penalties. If the commanders have been meeting the required outcomes of what the NFL has put forth, and you say, of course, there's always training and things that we need to do, but if they've made this progress and been doing the things that the other organizations have been doing, quite frankly, why do we need to have you here today?
The gentleman's time has expired. The gentleman may answer the question.
As I said, Congressman, I was invited. I think I wanted the opportunity to say that we really have made significant changes to the commander's organization. They have, and I think it's an important lesson and instructive in the sense of making sure that we have participation of the employees in identifying what the culture is, identifying the efforts, and making sure independent people look at that and make recommendations, and those recommendations are implemented to organizations so that they can get better.
Okay, so
Gentleman's time has
the
expired.
NFL is going to continue doing that, and I'm glad they are. I'm glad you're doing those things in the NFL so people have a safe place to work. I think now the committee can focus on things that they should be focused on to help the American people with.
Madam Chair,
Gentleman's time has expired. Mr.